Yeah.
All you have to do is be transparent and honest with the client, manage their expectation, and
who's gonna do this project, and let's, instead of, like you said, taking a step back and saying, okay, this is awesome, do I want this project? If I do, let's schedule it accordingly. Listen, we'd love to do your project, we're really busy, we're not going to be able to properly start your project until X date, what have you, right? So I've gotten better, believe it or not. I've gotten better at saying no, or I've gotten better at least telling people, like, I had this conversation yesterday with looking at a project yesterday, and they want to hire me to do all new floors, all new interior doors, new staircase. And I said, I like the project, we'd be happy to do it, but when do you want to do this project? And they said, well, as soon as you can. Like, we're not, and they were cool about it. They said, we're flexible. We're not, it doesn't need to be done now, but we'd like to do it as soon as you can. I said, okay, that was a good answer. And I said, I will tell you that right now I am stuck downtown and I'm not doing anything else until I am done downtown, because it eats up your entire day every day. So I'm getting better at least explaining some stuff to people, and at least kind of setting that initial expectation of, yeah, we can do it, but I'm not even going to give you a date right now. And of course, the designer has to poke me. I'm like, well, when are you going to be done downtown? Because if we get all the materials here, like, you can start. When do you think you'd be able to start? And it's like, I'm not even telling you. I'm not even going to give you a potential start date right now. I'm not even going to do it. When I know I am like 98% done on that project, get all your materials here. If we agree to pricing, everything else, let's get everything here. We can find a place to store it in your garage, or we can, I don't give a shit if it stays in the warehouse that we order it from, whatever it is, but do not press me for a start date. I'm not giving you one. I'm not doing it. Because that creates stress for me. Now all of a sudden, shit, I need to get all this stuff done because I gave them a start date of this. I'm not doing it. Happy to do the project, but start date is pending. All I can do, pending. Some people, I've told them, if they call me and I said, you can get in the queue. I'm starting a queue like Netflix. Just get in the queue. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you.
It's funny. It's funny you bring that up, because I've been kind of butting heads with our owners at our company right now about the start dates.
Not you.
Yeah, I butt heads with everybody. It's just, they put a start date on their contract, and they think that they have to. It's the law and state law or whatever. And I looked into the state law, and what I read, verbatim, I read it, and it does not actually state that you have to put a start date on it. You do have to put a roundabout date, but then you can say that it's flexible. So it's just wording. It's just legal mumbo jumbo.
Sure.
The point that I try to make is, like, they pressure me on giving them a start date. And I'm like, well, why don't you give me a start date? You know just as much information as I do. Why are you forcing me to give you a start date? Because I'm telling you that we can't give you a start date. We cannot put a start date on this contract because we don't know yet. We're not through permitting. We haven't even gone through permitting. I don't even know how long permitting is going to stay. How are you going to put a start date on this?
Yeah.
Because we don't actually go to permit until after they sign contract with us. Because we don't want our name on a permit that's not, signed off on.
Yeah, of course.
To build.
Of course.
So it's like, I just don't understand how when they don't get it, I get really like frustrated. It's just like, it's so blatant obvious. Like,
yeah,
all you have to do is be transparent and honest with the client, manage their expectation, and especially if you're picking the right client, they're fine with it. They understand. Just tell them the situation.
The majority of reasonable people. Yeah.
Well, and that's why you spend a significant amount of time up front deciding if they're a right fit or not.
Sure.
Right. And we're back to the start of the conversation, which was, picking your client.
Sure. Yeah.
So this has been a sticking point. I actually still don't know where we fall on this because whatever. But I personally don't think that we manage their expectation as best as we can. And we say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we're going to love to do your project. Thank you for signing up with us. We don't have a start date yet. We have, this project and that project ahead of yours. You're in the queue, and we'll keep in touch with you if there's next steps, like, hey, we're going to go to permitting. So we're starting drafting for the permitting process. So we're doing permit prep right now. So we'll keep in contact with you and let you know how that goes. And we'll let you know when we enter into, permit, when we apply for the permit, we'll let you know how that goes, and we'll just keep you updated. But honestly, we have no idea how long these take. So, and then we give them examples. Here's my third party story. We did a similar project like yours last year, or we can say we did a similar project like yours and we're still in permitting. We entered into it in October and we still haven't gotten permit out yet. So it's like, that's 8 months. We're still waiting for permitting. So it could be that long, maybe, or it could be a month. Like I have to tell you, like, permitting process makes no sense. It seems to just sit on somebody's desk until they're ready to sign off on it. So when we get through it, we'll keep up, as we're updated, we'll let you through. Once we get through permitting, that's when we order everything, because we want to make sure there's not any red flags or any red tags that the permit department makes us do. Make sure that doesn't change anything, change scope, change budget, anything like that. As long as that's all good, that's when we start ordering everything. We have strong lead times at that point. That's when we can build your schedule, and that's when we can start entering it into a schedule, and we can start talking about what date's best for you to start.
Right.
Yeah. How's that sound?
No, that sounds fantastic to me, because I know how it works.
Fantastic.
But it's like, how often do you get that question from the client, which is just like that's like as long as I've been doing this, that's always like one of the first questions. It's like, I don't know if they read this on Google or what. It's like, well, when can you start? And it's like,
oh, that's the first question they want. But that's
I don't know.
But you have to manage that expectation up front right away.
Of course, I agree.
You talk about it in the multiple meetings that you have, just want to let you know that, we're probably looking more of like a next year, next spring, next fall timeline. It really depends on how long it takes us to get through our design process, which is usually 3-4 months or 2-3 months, whatever, depending on the project. We spend a lot of time up front making sure that we're building the project on paper, all that. And then you're doing all that, right? And then that takes a lot of time. So you just talk about it. Just be honest and open. If you tell the client, they're going to be okay with it. It's when you don't tell the client and then it pops up and then they're like, it's a surprise. And then they're like, well, I didn't know that was going to happen. I expected you were going to start tomorrow.
Right.
You never said that you wouldn't start tomorrow, but my expectation was that you were starting tomorrow. And so you just have to get in front of those expectations.